Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about how your belly discredits your success. Now, I know it's going to frustrate some people, and I'm not here to bring condemnation to you. I'm here to bring you the glory of God and to show you the best way to live. Because the reality is, especially in developed countries, the United States, for example, but all over the world now, it's kind of spreading like a plague almost. Obesity is out of control. People are fat. They're fatter than ever. There are literally people today you can go see anywhere in the United States. Just go to any Walmart, any store, and you can see someone that's so fat they would have been, even 100 years ago, an outright spectacle. They literally had carnivals that would go travel around the country, and they had people that were supposedly the world's fattest man or world's fattest woman, and you could see people bigger than them literally today in public, at buffets, at stores. They're all over the place. And that's just huge people. But there are people that are fat all over, and no one seems to care about it except for the aesthetics of it. They realize it doesn't look good, but they don't really care about what does it really mean if you are a fat person. Please understand my heart here. My heart is for you to live the best and fullest life possible, and you absolutely cannot do that if you are fat. I know people make excuses, and you can go run to those excuses. You can say I'm a big meanie. I don't care. The reality is you're not going to be living the fullest life, the best life possible, being overweight. I'm not even talking about morbidly obese. That's obviously a problem. I'm talking about just overweight at all. Do you really take someone seriously when they're overweight? Do you have the same respect for them, the same level of respect as you would if they were the exact same person but were lean and healthy? The reason is not about looks, because people will start going, well, I just don't care about looks. It's not about that. It is about what those appearances show and exhibit about you. For example, you have some kids walking through a neighborhood, their pants are sagging, they're dressed in a way to intimidate. They might be great kids. They might be sweet, great kids. They might be godly kids even that are confused about the way they dress. But the appearance they are giving out is not going to cause people to trust them more than if they were dressed in suits. Your appearance reflects things about you. It tells people something about you. It may not be accurate, but it might be what you want them to think about you. You might want people to be afraid of you, so maybe you dress a certain way that you might think intimidates them. But here's the reality. You can't, no matter how much clothing you get, you can't cover up the fat. And the fat tells people something about you. It may not be something you want them to know about you, but it is something nonetheless. And it says, I lack self-control. Now, you might have self-control in some areas, no question. It's very rare that somebody with no self-control in any area of their lives. But oftentimes, they only have self-control in areas where it's required of them, where they're forced into it, where the alternative is even worse than them doing it. But when it comes to being overweight, nobody really says anything. Everybody wants to be nice. Today, there's all kinds of nonsense like people saying fat's beautiful or healthy at any weight or whatever. We all know it's untrue, but people are trying to be nice. They're lying. They're deceptive. But nobody actually believes that. Even fat people don't believe that. Because if you could offer them a pill that would immediately make them lose all their weight and be at a healthy weight, they would take it. They might say they wouldn't, but of course they would. But as I said, this is not just about appearance. This is about what the appearance is revealing about the person. When you see someone overweight, what is it about that makes you not feel as respectful to them, maybe to not see them as a serious person as you would somebody that was, say, muscular, and you tell they obviously are fit and they work out? Well, it's because it shows you they lack self-control. You know, if you see that person, let's say you see somebody that looks like a bodybuilder. Okay, you might judge them and say, oh, they're on steroids or whatever, but you still know, even if they are on steroids, they may be, they may not be, but you still know that that body took a lot of discipline to create. They didn't go and shoot up steroids and then lay on their couch and eat ice cream all day. You know that took some work. So you know, immediately seeing that person, They are telling you something about them, that this is a disciplined person. Now, they may not be disciplined in every area, but they are disciplined at least in regards to their health. But when you see the opposite, when you see someone who's basically a slob, they're fat, they're morbidly obese even, you see someone that's out of control physically. Their flesh is out of control. They do not have self-control. And the problem with that as believers is if you profess the name of Christ, but your body says, I am out of control, the flesh rules me, as Philippians chapter 3, verse 19 talks about, people who have made their belly their God. It's the opposite of being a Christian, of being Christ-like. The fruit of the Spirit, which is part of you having the Spirit of God dwelling in you, some of that fruit is self-control, temperance. You can't be out of control physically, being given over to the flesh, and be someone who is going to have the same respect as somebody who has control over their flesh. And I have to keep reiterating this, but it's important. This is not about appearance. I'm not talking about fat from an appearance perspective. Obviously, the appearance shows you something and reveals something about that individual, but this is not what I'm talking about. I don't care how good you look as far as beauty contest standards. I care that you have the appearance of somebody who's disciplined and in control and being led by the Spirit and having the fruit of the Spirit. And quite frankly, an obese person, even a fat person, not even morbidly obese or obese, because I know they have all these little weasel terms to try to make it sound better. Somebody that's overweight is not somebody that's fully in control of their flesh. It's not somebody that has self-control, at least in that area. And one of the worst things you can have in life is somebody who is ruled by their flesh. The carnal mind is enmity with God. You can't please God with a carnal mind, a fleshly mind, a mind always focused on gratification and appeasing your appetite. One of the things you might consider doing, and you should do, prayerfully consider it, is fast. You know, Jesus said that your righteousness must exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees, and yet the Pharisees, they fasted twice a week. How often do you fast a week? Most people don't fast almost at all. Or if they do lame little fasts like, oh, I fasted while I was sleeping. Or I fasted from breakfast in the morning. Like, they're basically just doing intermittent fasting. There's nothing spiritual about that at all, and it's pretty powerless. I'm talking about a real fast. If your body starts fighting that, you start getting these thoughts like, oh, I'm not going to do a fast. Well, he doesn't know about my health, or whatever excuse you come up with. Realize what's going on there. Your body's in control, the flesh is in control, that fat's in control, and you have to be the one to step up and take power and take control over your life. You have to be the one that rules your body, not the one who's ruled by their body. And I'm going to tell you something too that many people have never even thought about, but the reality is if you are healthy and in good shape, not some fat blob waddling around everywhere, sweating, barely able to get up a flight of stairs, you will be more successful. One, just from the presentation aspect of people will be more respectful to you. They'll have more respect for you and your success because they see the discipline you have by your body being in shape. But two, you'll have more energy to do more things. You'll be literally in your mind, be able to think better and process cognitively even better. If you continue to allow yourself to be given over to the flesh, to be carnally minded, to just be going from one appetite to another, it will make your life worse, dramatically worse. It leads to all kinds of other areas it will bleed into and create havoc in those as well. The carnal mind and fleshly lusts sabotage your calling in life, and it makes you less like Christ. And your goal in life should be to be conformed to his image. Your goal should be to be like God, to speak like him, to think like him, to live your physical life in this world as best as you can in the image and likeness of God. And you can't do that being fat. And I know people don't like that. I know people don't want to hear it. I know people will be mad and they'll be offended. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just telling you a truth. And maybe nobody is honest enough with you to even tell you this. You know, you're going to a church with a big fat pastor. He's never going to talk about fat. He's never going to talk about having a God of your belly. He's not going to give you that verse of scripture in Philippians chapter 3, verse 19. He's not going to talk to you about self-control and discipline and being a person of character and substance who keeps their body under, as Paul talked about. Keep your body under control, under your disciplined hand. They'll never talk about that. And the fact that the majority of people today are overweight means there's going to be less and less people saying a thing about it. But I'm telling you, you need to get right with God. If you're out of control, your flesh is just ruling you, eating is your pleasure in life, you got to get things back in control. And what you can do is, besides the fasting like I mentioned, obviously, go get my book, Why Every Christian Should Be a Vegan. Read that book. Become a vegan, because it's very important for not just spiritually, but also physically, which I address in the book a little bit, but it will absolutely help your health as well. Do some exercise. And when things come up, start praying. If you're going to this grocery store to buy groceries, pray about what you're buying. Really prayerfully consider everything you're buying. Do you need to put that ice cream into your cart? Do you need to put that soda? Do you need to put that junky cereal? Really consider this. Are you going to just keep filling your body, the temple of God that God's given you, the body you have that you're supposed to honor Him with because it is His? Are you going to be fueling it with all this trash? Or are you going to be fueling it with the right materials so your body is healthy, lean, and muscular? You have an opportunity to do the best thing you can do for yourself, which is give yourself the gift of being in control of your flesh. It is something that the vast majority of people do not have in their lives. Even if they are trim otherwise, the vast majority of people are not in control of their flesh. They're ruled by their fleshly lust. Their belly is their God, and they do not walk with Jesus. And you have this precious gift of life, this gift also of being able to recognize and hear this message right now, and you can start taking actions to make the right choices so you can live the best life possible. And then your belly will no longer discredit your success. As a matter of fact, because you'll be so lean and healthy, your physical body will be a credit to your success. It will be something that people take note of and they ask you questions about. How'd you do this? How'd you get in shape? Because they will see somebody who's disciplined, in control, and is living a Christ-like life and is no longer a carnally minded worldling who's living by the lust of the flesh. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.